And my dad was just like, who is Khan? Aren't we Khan? And the whole epiglottis and all that.
Saad, one of your short film made it to Cannes Film Festival. So back then you had a background of watching films like DDLJ and all the romantic type of films, and person who comes who has seen Indian cinema which was totally into romance and hero heroine type. So how did your film get into Cannes, which is abstract?
When I went to the US from here, I was a giddy teenager, literally. I thought, "Mereko sab malum hai, I know everything." My mind opened up because I went to film school, and finally, for about 1 week, I realized I had no knowledge of international cinema. So for 1 year, I just watched at least 3 to 4 films every night, apart from my film school work.
Oh, was it after Cannes or before Cannes?
No, before Cannes, obviously.
Before Cannes, okay.
So I got myself up to speed. 1 year, I ended up watching close to about 1,000 films. And it was so much that in my head that finally I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to breathe. I started working, and a part of my film school project was on a short film, but nothing happened to that. At the end of my 2-year course, that's when I worked on a short film, and that got screened. The experience was, I think it was amazing, man. It was amazing. It's still etched in my memory.
Once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime, yeah. Audrey Hepburn saying in Roman Holiday, right? In memory, this will...
Who is he? I have no clue.
Roman Holiday. You haven't
Apologies.
watched Roman Holiday? Yeah, I think you should never watch movies again.
I do watch, just not.
Roman Holiday is one of the most... It's a classic. Should watch it. It's called it's Roman Holiday with Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
Audrey Hepburn is an actress, and it had Gregory Peck in it as well.
Okay.
I will cherish this place in my memory for as long as I live. So for me, when I was in Cannes, that line came to my mind again and again. And it's a beautiful place which is in between the Mediterranean Sea. So you've got greenish blue water, and you get lost. And I feel for creative people, it's a destination to just sit and ideate. So for me, I was lucky that I had gone from the university as a student, in my early 20s, and I had this experience meeting Afghanistani filmmakers, meeting Polish filmmakers, French filmmakers. It was brilliant. It's an amazing experience.
The film student category, was it in that particular
Short film.
category?
There's a short film category.
Short film category.
Yeah, short film.
For film students.
Yes, yeah. It's a short film corner.
Okay.
It's a short film corner. It's one of the biggest corners.
Okay,
That
I
time
see.
it's still up and coming, but now it's become very common. You're talking about 8 years back.
Okay.
8 years back, it was still up and coming, that particular category. I went to the American Pavilion.
Okay.
Each country has a pavilion there. Yeah, I wanted to come back to India.
You worked with Ashutosh Goenka,
Yes, yes.
right?
Luckily, I worked with Ashutosh. Luckily.
Which film was that for?
Khele Hum Ji Jaan Se. Quite a forgettable. Yeah, I like how you're looking there.
The ones
It's
I
after
remember-
Jodha Akbar and after What's Your Rashi. A filmmaker's capability cannot be judged by a film that doesn't work.
You have worked with him for quite a long time. So do you think that he's not caught in the trap of a typical Bollywood commercial film? Or what do you think?
Every filmmaker today has an audience. So I wouldn't it's very difficult today to compartmentalize a particular film. But as far as Mr. Gwarikar, no, I don't think so. His work is very centered towards research,
Okay.
towards period. So I think, and he's great at that. So
Saad Khan, you have already directed a film called Station. The entire film was shot in Bangalore and everything was done in Bangalore itself. And now we have moved on to Hollywood, right? Your next film, Love and She.
I wouldn't say moved on to Hollywood. I'm making a Hollywood film. You're making it look like I don't want work here. I want work here also. I haven't moved on anywhere. I've just been lucky to be able to direct a full-length English feature film in the US, produced by a very dear friend of mine called Dr. Jatin Patel, who is really, really aware of the problems that couples face due to post-miscarriage stress. Post-miscarriage trauma or post-miscarriage stress is quite prevalent in couples across the world, not just in the US. A lot of women suffer from miscarriages, as you know, as well as stillbirth.
Amir Khan's wife. Kiran
Yes,
Rao.
and then Mark Zuckerberg's wife Priscilla, and all of that. But we never took it up. I never took up the topic or the idea because of these things. It just an idea came to us about a couple going through a problem because of this, and then 2 American writers wrote the film. I was going to the US a year and a half back because my university was giving me an alumni award, and I just thought going 10,000 miles, I might as well do something with it. So I went and I planned and I spoke to people, production companies, and finally it worked out. And we shot the film across 2 schedules,
Okay.
and we're in the editing process right now. The trailer is out. It came out on Women's Day earlier this year. But it's very tough. It's very tough because there are so many films being made today. So I'm trying to get the film to film festivals, and I'm sure it'll resound there. And once that happens, then maybe I'll work on a release.
And it has already made it to the Miami Film Festival,
Yes,
right?
yeah, Miami Film Festival. It's already made it to that, and now I'm looking at a couple of other film festivals. It's a very difficult subject, and I personally feel that today, with our attention span and with what's happening, And because I do so much comedy as well, and this is a very serious film, very couples oriented film. It doesn't have over the top humor and like a lot of sex, and it's not that kind of film. It's a realistic film. It's very difficult to promote a realistic film.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Plus, you do have a room to like stand out as well, because that kind of a film has never been made before as well, right?
Yes, of course, but it also depends on film festivals. Film festival recognition is important. Having said that, Dr. Patel is keen on releasing the film as well.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it. But I think the actors have really worked well on the film. The film talks about the problems that couples go through. It opens up the issue of post-miscarriage trauma. Talks about isolation, loneliness, selfishness. Talks about giving time to yourself. Talks about understanding spouse, the unsaid. Talks about how a couple can be together for years but don't speak.
Okay.
Stuff like that. I was quite in a different mood once I was doing that movie, because I remember finishing off a couple of improv shows and then going off to the US to shoot.
So getting in that mood.
Yeah. I took completely take comedy out of my system. Take out satire, sarcasm, everything. I had to just focus on the script, the text, books on post-miscarriage trauma. It's called postpartum depression. Talking to women who've gone through it, men who have gone through it, because it's not just that the woman goes through it. A man also goes through it. His sperm also is there, no?
Yes,
But the thing is, men are ignored because it's a woman's loss.
Were people like quite open about it?
No, it's going to be
It was
very
a
difficult.
task.
I won't say open about it. Yes, the people who we shot with, of course.
Yes.
But not every woman, and justifiably, is going to come forward and talk about a life being lost from her body.
Okay.
It's really hard.
I get it.
Just imagine like person has to take off his arm for whatever reason,
Yes.
and I'm sitting and talking to that person and saying, okay, so take me through how it was.
You're not going to be open at first.
They will be open, but it's very emotionally hard. I mean, how do you talk about something that you lost? Having a baby in your womb, I mean, in your body for 6-7 months, and then either it's coming out as a stillborn, or you're not able to let it out into the world with a life. Quite harrowing, quite depressing. The idea for our film is that it's a hopeful film. So let's see how it fares in the festivals as well as when it releases.
Do you think it's like a good promotional activity when it comes down to theatres? I could name Masan, I could name Titi. Just because of the accolades of winning in 12 film festivals, it's like a good promotional activity to enter the theatres.
Yes, I agree with you. I think I absolutely agree with you. I think film festivals is a great platform for showcasing ideas and concepts and films. It's a great concept, and I'm obviously for it. Having said that, you never know what the fate of a movie is till it comes out in the theatres.
Okay.
I know so many film festival films that have come onto the theatres and disappeared on a weekend, or got lost in the superhero or a horror movie. So you don't know. Films today is a very subjective conversation.
Totally unpredictable.
Unpredictable, depends on many things. I know Masan also was a great film. Tithi is a great film. So I mean, it's really subjective. iStation didn't have a film festival recognition, but it's released across 6 cities.
And the IMDb rating is
And
good as well.
IMDb rating is good. People watched it. It ran for 2 weeks in Bangalore. It released with 2 other big Bollywood films at that point of time. One was Harman Baweja's comeback, Dishkiyan. It released with Jackie Baghnani's Youngistan. Station got Times of India review as well. Having said that, when Station released on March 28th, 2 years ago, that same day there were at least about 150 films that were in the can, which means they could also be released on that day. Being a filmmaker and having a released film or a festival film is a lot of luck. A lot of people say, oh, the director's lucky. I mean, the director's talented, deserved it. I'm lucky to be sitting here. I'm lucky that my film released. I'm lucky that there is improv. I'm lucky that I'm able to conduct a workshop. I'm lucky. That's it. There is nothing else to it. It could have been anybody else.
In short, you're lucky to be a multitasker.
I'm just lucky to be lucky and to be here. That's it. I don't think anyone can refute that, saying that no, I'm here because I deserve it, because I'm so talented that I need to be here. I don't agree with that. I want to quote this guy called Tim Minchin, and he said that our life, there is sex, there is babies, there's fun, there is comedy, there is movies, there is romance, there is mountaineering, there is skiing. And then in all of this, The idea is we're all going to die. So life is meaningless. Which means if life is meaningless, we are incalculably lucky to be able to be where we are, because if it was not for us, it would have been someone else. That's it. For me, I live by that. I absolutely live by that.
Okay, Saad Khan, thanks for joining us on the show.
Anytime. My pleasure. Thank you.
The main thing which I observe with you and Banish is you guys are really humble.
I don't think we are doing anything because I feel we have not even scraped the surface of what we want to do. I think it's a very generic thing. I think it's very intrinsic. But thank you so much for saying that. I don't think we have... I won't speak for anyone else, but as far as I'm concerned, I've always believed that I haven't done anything in life. Wake up every day thinking I haven't done anything in life. So
every day is like a beginning for you.
every day is a beginning. Every shoot that I work on, every thing I direct is the first thing for me. Every show before I get onto stage, before I start the improv in the wings, it's like a new show for me.
Okay.
There is no baggage. There is no real thing that, oh my god. We've also seen a lot of celebrities around us, and we've seen what they are about, and I think I'm not a celebrity. I don't claim to be one. I just feel like we're just lucky to be able to get work that is creative, that can in some way here and there influence people. If it's comedy, we love to make people laugh. So that's a great thing. It's a tool. Because a lot of people, like from Robin Williams to Whoopi Goldberg to Billy Crystal, Eddie Murphy, looking at Indian comedians, Mahmood, the pioneers, they all just want to make people happy. I'm with the team of YouCollabor. This has been an interesting interview experience for me. We talked about films, we talked about comedy, and we are at the Open Box, which is in Bangalore, which is a wonderful venue. And thank you, Amit, for letting us use this space. Talked about a bunch of intrusive things, but those intrusions were great. The idea of comedy, where the improv is going forward. Love and She, the American movie that I worked on. We're also performing at Mysore Medical College on August 28th.
That's where the second interview will be.
And that's where the second interview will be as well. I mean, I love all these Mysore boys are doing, and it's amazing that they're giving us Bangalore creative crowd this platform. I hope other people also join this platform, and all the best to you guys.
Thank
Manju
you.
is as well on the other side, and all the best and God bless. Thank you. Thank you.